Okay. How you doing? How you doing? How's everyone? Let me see here. Let me go ahead and make sure that we're all in the same place. Good to see you tonight or today. Depending where you are in the world. I know some of our friends who are in the UK it is night for you. And those who are in other places, I know it's different time. But for me, it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And for those in California, it's just noon. Hope everyone is doing well. Today's Zoom is going to be all about this concept of what it means to be a leader who can sell without selling. You know, the true test of leadership has more to do, let me go ahead and post this up. The true test of leadership will have more to do with your ability to be who you are naturally, not read a script or come on with some kind of a scripted concept, but to really take it to an entirely different level. And what that looks like for you, I pray that you can do, there we go, make sure you can see my screen all right. What that does for you, I pray that it positions you for the ability to grow without needing to start and stop. The concept of recruiting people, telling them that there is no recruiting, it's linear. It has a dead end. And so, like I tell my people who are from the science world, that there's one form of life that has no termination date. It doesn't have to die, right? With the exception of interruption of man and the interruption of mankind. There's one form of life that doesn't have to die. It could just live on year after year after year. And so the trick of that trade isn't a linear concept for its life. You're going to find out tonight, how can you do it? How can you have a business that you can go on and soar with and it grow with you without needing to end it and start it and end it and start it and end it and start it? How can you do that? We're going to find out how. Let me see here what's going on. I'm going to just go ahead and share my screen. I thought I am sharing it for you all. I'm just not sharing it with my... Oh, there we go. No, wrong one. Don't want... Oh, move out of the way. It's just a moment, guys. Just a daggone moment here. All right, here we go. Secondary window. Perfect. Okay, now I feel better. Now, for those of you that are here in this window, I've got to go find another window. Okay, just a moment. There we go. Okay, so now, back to what I was saying to you. We need to get ourselves in a place where you can build a business on something. I'm going to have to mute you out. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen for a moment just to bring us back to earth for a moment because I want everyone to get this. Today is your day. Today is a day that I believe without a doubt you can walk away with some substance, whether you stay here at Ingreso Cybernetico, whether you've never come at all. I'm going to mute you out because you're killing me. There you go. Whether you're going to stick it out and grow with your business, you can actually leave today with something that would give you the ability to have something and not have to constantly redefine yourself while contradictorily needing to apologize to the people that you're coming with you. And so how will that look? We're going to talk about it, and I don't want you to miss it. So now that I say it, please understand this. You deserve an opportunity to actually recruit or sell without being ashamed of it. You already do it. But except it's no fun, ladies and gentlemen, when you have to read a script. It's no fun. So let me go ahead and break it down before I get back to the screen. So bear with me if you will. I'm going to ask you a question. Ladies, would you much rather a young man be a man who just tells you about himself, right? And does so by being natural. When he fumbles over his words because he's shy and he tells you that he thinks the world of you when he's with you, watch how cool this is. A man can, without having a script, without being grammatically or politically correct, can tell you, when I'm with you, for some reason, I become so overwhelmed, my stomach has butterflies. I actually feel that I might just disappear because the adrenaline is moving so high in me because that's what you do to me. I lose my way. He just fumbles his way through it, or he comes to you and professionally reads off or memorizes the script that he says to you that is written by someone else. Which one will be most accepted and embraced by you? Anyone care to share? If you
take the person who fumbled over the words, because you're going to read his body language and you're going to know that he's sincere.
Yes. The hitches of the world in reality don't prepare for someone for a lasting relationship. If you know what I'm talking about when I say hitch. It literally takes you being you to win them over. I'll never forget it. I won't forget it. I remember back, I was 21 years old when I met my wife. Came from a sheltered life. Grew up in a very dysfunctional way of living, so the opposite sex was not my first priority. I mean, if I could have gotten a hold of, sports, cars, I love that stuff, but this was a really uncomfortable thing when it came to ladies. I'll never forget it. My wife thought it was so funny, but I dated her for like 3 months before I ever kissed her or asked to be my girlfriend or any of that stuff. But she was taken back of my shyness. I wasn't pretending to be this guy with this heavy rap. I wasn't pretend. It was what won me. I was able to be myself. For me, I knew it was it because for the first time I could be me. Now I want you to see what happens if you practice this type of leadership here in the leadership circle, where you can literally get there without needing to read a script, pretend, lie. I mean, everybody pretends that they had no job, they had nowhere to go, and that they were a pizza delivery boy. Everybody tries to steal the story of someone else when all you need is your own. So let's go ahead and let's get out and see what this looks like in our presentation. Let's take a walk together. So, the leader and the message. It's going to look like this, Miss Smile, since you gave me the feedback. I love the idea that leadership doesn't mean you have to be big and strong, because I'm a little guy. I love the fact that you don't have to be good looking with lots of hair and broad shoulders, because it's something that I can do. I can plug in principles that God put here that work for anyone that applies them, and it's independent of my color and all those things. I love that. Well, if that works, it works the whole way through, not just with being a leader, but also with the messaging. So, you, as the leader, you don't even know you're a leader yet. Let me assist you of what's possible for you, the leader. So, the leader with the non-borrowed message. The leader that doesn't steal from someone else's website. No recruiting, no selling. Just stop the madness and let's take a non-borrowed message. You already have one. How many of you here like sports? If you like sports, type in the number 4. I want to know if you like sports, because I'm going to share something with you that's going to, I think, hit home with you. If you like sports, type in number 4. Okay? Someone who likes sports, go ahead and tell me what your team. What team do you like? What is it? What's the name of your team if you like it? I want to show you what happens all around the world every day, including today, from people who believe they cannot sell. They're also turned off by selling. They have no idea that they're already doing it. Someone name your team. Okay, the Georgia Bulldogs. Go ahead, Bulldogs. That's the home of, I want to say, Eddie George was a Georgia Bulldog, I think. Okay, so watch this. When Tommy talks about the Bulldogs, he doesn't have to read a script. He doesn't have to do anything, because he learned enough about that team that he can't wait to get it out. Now watch how powerful this is. Instead of him borrowing the Georgia Bulldog anthem, right, or singing it all day long, he says, oh my goodness, have you seen the Bull? Did you see that last game? I mean, there was only 30 seconds left. He says, hike, and he goes back. He goes back for the pass. And oh my goodness, he's going back. They tried to tackle him. He ducks. They almost had him. He broke away. And as he describes it, the recipient who's listening to this non-borrowed message, watch this. They embrace his enthusiasm for what he has. But most of all, they embrace and love the fact that he actually believes what he's saying. And he is selling someone who may be a Penn State fan, or they may be a UConn fan, or they may be a University of Miami fan, or University of Florida, or Central Florida. Who knows? But it doesn't matter. They are willing to hear him because, first of all, it's a non-borrowed message. And I know you've all been taught. Read the script, say the message everyone else is saying. But I want you to note, you could have a message as a leader that is non-borrowed that will help you long-term. For those of you here that don't know me and just met me this year, if you go back and watch a video from 10 years ago, you'll notice my message has always been authentic. It is mine. And the other thing is, you will note that not only is my message authentic and not borrowed, but I'm okay with it. It's not polished. I'm okay that I occasionally will dangle a participle, and I may actually be in the voice passive and occasionally use a double negative, but I'm so okay with it. It's not up for me about perfection. It's about what I share. Now watch how cool this is. You as the leader can have a non-borrowed message. And now, the reason you're uncomfortable with selling is you just don't want to mess up. You don't want to read the wrong thing or memorize and say the wrong thing at the wrong time. That's why you have to learn to have a concept so you can have your own message, not borrowed. That's why I teach people the motto of 3D, because it doesn't require you memorizing a script. It's the concept that will take you over the top. What are the questions and what are the answers? But let's look a little further. Not just the leader, and the non-borrowed message, but you, the voice. How many of you ever heard someone say, I like listening to her because she's comfortable with her own voice. She's comfortable in her own skin. How many of you have ever heard that phrase, right? That statement. Type in number 1 if you understand what I mean when I say that. Comfortable in their own skin. Oh, yeah. She really is comfortable with her own voice. Someone says, I cannot stand that guy. He's so squeaky when he talks. Yeah, but I can't help but listening to that guy. Like, I like to listen to that guy, even though he's squeaky, because he's so comfortable in his own skin or his own voice that I can understand him. I can applaud that type of enthusiasm. For sure. Your voice. You didn't even know it. You don't like it, but it's not about you. It never was about you. It's about the recipient. You didn't even know. So I get to help you with that. It's always been about you. The recipient needs you to be so lost in what you're doing. Now, listen to this, guys. Here's what I was taught to speak from the stage. They said, Dwayne, you will never become great as long as you're thinking about you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, you're selfish, Dwayne. You're so worried about how you look, if you have any broccoli in your teeth. You're so concerned if your collar looks right that your message is going to be so watered down and so disrupted that no one's going to hear it. And I was so taken back. When I was a young man, we had this thing called a bus ministry. We'd go and we'd teach on the bus to kids on their way to church and on the way home from church. And I was told I didn't qualify because I was so self-centered that the only thing I could think about is, what if I don't sound right? What if I mess up? Now, let me tell you something. The greatest salespeople in the world are mothers. Let me show you what I mean. When you have your own voice, when a person has their own voice, watch this. When the house is on fire, I want you to follow me now. When the house is on fire and there are 2 kids who need rescued, and the mother, all she has on is a robe, a mask on, rollers. If the kids are not safe, she doesn't care. She will go to the street and scream, help me with my babies. They're inside. There's a fire. She does such a good job with her message. She's loud enough. Her message is clear enough. And the craziest thing is, the least important person in her messaging is herself. Some of you thought that I'm a good speaker, and I'm actually not. I'm a horrible writer as well, because I'm just not that perfect. I'm just not that correct. And I'm okay with it. But the thing that makes me good at it is I'm not concerned with me. I'm not concerned if you could see how bald my head is. I'm not concerned if you can see all the white hairs and I'm not as young as I used to be. I want you to get the message so you can be good and it can carry over for your family and for generations to come as you build wealth. How many of you would be willing to reach out and fight like the mother who does for her children, who doesn't care about the mask she's wearing, the rollers, the robe that she's had for 20 years? How many of you are willing to be like that in your messaging? Because if you can sell, you can build forever. Type in the number 3 if you're that type of person. For me, my life changed when I learned this concept. When I learned that my voice now was not about what I look like. When I learned that my voice was truly about what's in here, that I really care so much. You might laugh at me. You might think that I'm going nowhere fast, but I don't care about that. I want a clear message to go out where it's independent of all those other things you're thinking. Well, what if they know that I failed the 8th grade? What if they know that I failed the 12th grade? What if they know that I was a special need? What if they know this? What if they find out that I'm not perfect? Oh my. Well, I had to learn to put that aside so that I can have a voice. And if I have a voice, then I will have people who will hear it. Thank you, Robert. How correct you are. Now, your voice. Get your voice. And you can't really have your full voice until you stop making sure the only thing that matters to you is what you look like, what you sound like, if you're perfect. Lose it so you can become great. You deserve to experience making money by being yourself, which becomes, later when you hear me talk about the byproduct, which means you're selling. So now, who exactly are you in this whole thing? You see, when you're reading someone else's message and you're pointing people to, you're reading a message that points them somewhere else, what are you? You're nothing more than a messenger. You don't know why no one follows you. You're confused by it. You didn't realize you've positioned yourself by borrowing another voice, borrowing another message, and pointing to another company. You were confused. You thought you were not a good salesperson. The truth is, you're not trying to be a good salesperson. You're becoming a great secretary who will give messages. Hey, boss, call back to so-and-so at 4. Hey, you got to do you've become a messenger. You've become an executive assistant instead of someone who's building wealth for their family amidst this COVID, post-COVID, amidst this whole thing of loss of jobs and loss of businesses. You've become a glorified secretary and you didn't have to. It's time for a change. And you're right, Sean. Live like no one else so you can live like no one else. You got it, bro. In the word of Mr. Dave Ramsey. Now, who are you? If you're not using your voice and you're borrowing the message and you're pointing at something else that has nothing to do with you, who are you? No wonder selling's a chore. No wonder you think it's, oh my gosh, no wonder you're easily recruited when someone says no selling, no anything. Now, you didn't even think that they're recruiting you. They're selling you that there is no selling. You didn't even realize that that itself is selling. So, the difference is you can have an authentic message. You can have your own voice, which you don't think is lovely, but you have to be fair to the recipient who may just adore your voice and adore your look. I just spoke with, I think Noreen this week. She did a Zoom yesterday. She said, a couple months ago, I would have never done it. But now, the most important person in the Zoom is not her. She looks lovely, but she didn't feel it. But it doesn't even matter now. The people in many different continents are able to hear her because it's not a borrowed voice, it's her own voice. It's not a borrowed message, it's her message. If you get what I'm saying, if you understand this and you're ready for more of it, give me a number 2. Oh my goodness. Life began for Dwayne Golden when I got my voice. When I got my message, my 40s, I began to establish a message in my 40s. So by the time in my 50s, I sell without selling. I don't even try because it's there. I let go of all the other crap. Well, let's continue. The leader. The non-borrowed message The leader. And his or her own voice. The leader. And who are you in this whole big thing? Okay, we talked about the leader. Let's talk about the message. The message. Holla who's. See, if you get the concept from the training, you can very well establish your own message. I talked to leaders throughout the week. One of the greatest concerns is when the recipient is in charge. See, when there's a borrowed message, the recipient is always going to posture up and become the strong one. Whose message is it? Why don't you get the concept so you can have a message? And here's what my message looks like. Someone says, well, listen, all right, tell me what you got. I need to know what all you have. My message is not going to change because I got the concept is, did you see the presentation yet? Well, no, just tell me. You got 2 minutes. Well, no. What I have is so powerful, I wouldn't dare dumb it down for you in 2 minutes. It's either worth 15 minutes of your time or it's not. That's my message. Because I carry a message of posture, people don't ask me the questions that they ask you. They ask you, well, how are you doing so far? Right? How do I know this is not a scam? No one asks you. See, when you have posture, they don't ask you that because they know that things with a strong message, right? Those are the ones that aren't going to be the scam. Whose message is it? When you take someone else's message, everyone challenges you. Get your own. How do you get your own message? I've been teaching you guys for a few weeks how to have your own message by giving you a concept. And here's what I believe. I believe your messaging shouldn't be presenting. Your message should be the standard. And the standard's got to be this. My message is going to be, hey, look, I'm not going to tell you about it. Just go. I'm going to send you a link. Go watch it. Watch a video. We'll talk afterwards. That's my message. What is yours? I'm not going to try to prove anything to you. What I have is so good. You might want to prove if you qualify to be a part of my team. That's my message. What is yours? Change your message. You're going to change your result. If your message is borrowed, lose the borrowed one and establish your own. But make sure it's built around the concept. Get someone to the presentation. Once they've seen it, don't you do anything other than, watch this now, the concept is, ask them, what did you like best? That's it. What did you like best about what you saw? If they say, well, I didn't see it yet, don't you dare start messaging them some recorded message. Guess what? We'll talk after you've seen it. Get a message, but build it around the concept. The concept is, allow the system to do the work. Now, here's a question. Why should I listen to your message? If all you're doing is reading me with someone else, listen, if my wife were to come to me and she read someone else's message, her friend wrote for her, I'm like, why am I listening to you? Why don't you just introduce me to your friend? Look, I'd rather you say it wrong than to give me somebody else saying it right. You're the same way. Do you really want someone to come to you and say, look, the CEO wanted me to tell you this? And then be your secretary. Or what if I could tell you myself? Which one carries more weight? That's why whose message matters. Give them a reason to listen. Some of you told people all the reasons why they should never listen to you, because everything about you points everywhere else. Well, listen, this is what my upline says. Here's his or her message. Also, my upline's going to be doing this later. Also, let me tell you this. Here, they're going to say this to you. What is your message? Get it. Your voice is fine. Your voice is absolutely okay. Let's get a message and let's make sure it's yours. Let's use your voice. How do you say it? Maybe you're like my friends from the UK who are here who have a great accent. It's all right. Use it. Yours is the one that's going to work. As I told you guys a week ago, the whole world listens when the people from the UK speak, right? That accent's strong. Whatever it is, if it's American, if it's African, if it's Indian, whatever it is, it's okay. Don't you dare have any shame in it. That's right, Christina. I'm waiting to hear yours. Can't wait to get onto your Zoom and hear you sometime. What else? The system. It's there for consistency. You see, when you have a message that doesn't quite work, often it's because you've cheated the system that would give you the consistency. If someone ever talks to me about my business, they can always expect that my message will be consistent. What message is that? Did you listen to did you check out did you go to did you watch the presentation yet? Oh, you did. What did you like best about what you saw? There's a consistency. I don't have to wear myself out presenting all day long, and I don't recommend that you do. It's the 21st century. While you're sleeping, people can see your presentation. Why do you have to present all the time? While you're at dinner, while you are with your husband and your children, or your wife and your children, someone can be watching the presentation. Why are we creating all these models that has so many messages and mixed messages? Listen, you're a leader. Establish a message. Use a system for consistency. If there's a good presentation out there, send someone to it. When they're done, holla, or they say holla back. What did you like best about what you saw? Well, I like the making money, but I really like the fact that I get Bitcoin instantly. You know what? It's one of the things I like too. I validate them. Messaging, but I don't start my message if they didn't go through the system. I won't message with anybody that didn't go through the system. The system gives me that consistency. Now listen, earlier in this presentation, I told you there's a form of life that lives on forever unless disrupted by mankind or catastrophe. But through age, it will not die from old age. And that system that does that is the tree. The tree uses a system or multiple systems for that life. If it cheats the system, it will die. Like a lot of you came in strong, but it starts to die off because you have no system or you deviated from it. A tree will absorb hundreds of gallons of nutrients from the soil every day and take in so much sunlight to embrace the photosynthesis system. I mean, there's so many. There's what they call xylem and phloem. The xylem acts like a straw that pulls all these nutrients. The phloem, which is the bark, creates what we call the ring, the age ring, right? The growth ring. Every year it gets a new coat of bark, and that marks a new year of the tree. And it's so amazing. If we just embrace that kind of thing in our business, imagine what we'd be if we developed by absorbing many nutrients of growth and development into our business so we could be better. What if we could develop our message and grow that way and consistently take in all that we can? And we established that consistency that included a system that we did not change. We wouldn't have to come up with lies like there's no recruiting and no selling. We wouldn't have to deceive people or take advantage of people or scam people. You don't have to do that if there's a consistency. If you got that, type in the number 0 so I know you got it. The message. The message. What's your message? For my friends on YouTube, I should be watching you. I hope you're typing it in too. I apologize. I am on YouTube at this time too. Now, here's the beauty. The duplication. Without a system, you can't duplicate. Some of you are frustrated and you don't know why you're frustrated. You do all this recruiting and you can't duplicate. You can't duplicate because you don't realize. Look at life itself. It requires the systems for duplication. The systems. Oh my goodness, did you not know? That as I sit here with you, my heart's been beating 60 to 72 beats per minute, maybe a little faster today, because of my cardiovascular system. If I deviate from it, I'm probably going to die. If I disrupt it and ignore it and try to make sure it doesn't work and that I work instead, I'm not going to make it. The reproductive process of life involves duplication. It's built on millions of systems. How is it that we can ignore nature that shows us that systems will give us consistency that will help us not just to have growth, but to sustain that growth? Huh? Some of you skip the voice, you skip the message, and you go right to duplication. You want duplication. And you're just so frustrated, you don't know why. You can trust me on this. You can get by starting with duplication and go past everything, but you're not going to make it. You're going to be like the tree that's slumped over. Dry leaves, dry branches that fall to the ground. The duplication, like other things, become what I call, and you'll see this with the recipient, you're going to find that it becomes the byproduct. But let's go ahead and look at the recipient. What does the recipient hear when you talk? Let me help you with that. Some of you haven't used the really powerful empathy that we all have. You didn't even use it in this process. What do you go through when someone is just repeating the message they heard or reading one to you, and they're talking about things that they don't even know about, and they want you to pay money? What are you thinking? Right? Somebody tell me, what do you experience when that happens? Someone's telling you or reading to you their message, or they're repeating a message they've heard, they know very little about, but they want you to put your money in it. What is it you experience? Right? I can tell you what you experience. You are pathetically embarrassed for the person. You zone out. You hold on to your wallet good and tight. And what I'm talking to you about is what the person you're listening to, what happens on the other side of the eyeballs. You guys have to stop messaging without being concerned with what's happening with the person on the other side of the eyeballs. They actually matter. And if you create an entire message without thought of the person listening, no wonder you're failing. No wonder selling doesn't work. No wonder it's not natural. No wonder you have no voice. That makes sense? If you're making this entire presentation concept, if you're doing it not thinking about the recipients, no wonder it doesn't work. If you're thinking about how smart you're going to sound, how good you look, and how wonderful your voice sounds, and how eloquent you are, no wonder it's ineffective. The effectiveness has so little to do with you, you would be blown away if you knew how little. So now, you guys are going to have to start thinking about the recipient if you're going to be able to sell well. What are they experiencing? Because they sure don't care how smart you are. They sure don't care about what you look like. What will they be hearing the next time they hear from you? Now here's something I want you to catch now. What is the loudest thing that watch this now, the loudest message that the recipient has at any given day? If you haven't thought about this, no wonder it's not working for you. Did you know when you inbox someone today what may be going on in their life? Do you have any idea? Here's where I don't know how to teach this. You just have to start really caring about people that are not you, right? For me, what's going through my mind? Did she have an argument with her husband today? Did they bury a child? Is their mother or father in the hospital? People have messages already before you get to them. How dare you believe that they're not interested in what you have when they haven't been given a fair chance to hear it? People actually have lives. My son has a science fair project tomorrow. And here this guy that keeps talking to me about his business, repeating all these coined lines that he's really annoying right now. I told him I'll listen when I get a chance, and he won't shut up. He won't hang up. When I tell him not today, won't be a good day, he won't listen. Because the loudest message that person's going to hear today is themselves. But the recipient says, what about me? You can't stop overwhelming me with all this junk you have. You're not even concerned about me and my life. You don't know that our refrigerator is broken. Our air conditioner went out. You don't know that my youngest is in intensive care. You just want to overwhelm me with the crap that you have. It's time today that you guys become great marketers by stop making yourself the most important person in the equation and open your mind and your ears to seek first to be understood. To understand and then to be understood. Was it John Maxwell? No, it was Stephen Covey who said that. Seek first to understand and then to be understood. You want to be great at this thing of building wealth from your household and leading people, large teams, not because you're busy, but because you're embracing principles that God's given us that we can all apply. What's happening on the other side of the eyeballs? What do they hear when I'm talking? It sickens me. The people say, look, here's how much I made today. They don't know that the loudest message in my voice has nothing to do with money. The loudest voice in my head is that my wife left this morning with my 2 sons and my daughter. And all they want me to focus on is them. What's up? They don't know that the loudest voice I hear today is that the husband said to her, she's ugly. He also said she's stupid and has no meaning. And then someone comes along to talk to her about business, and the only thing they care about is what their business is, who the business is, and who the upline is, and you just overwhelmed people. You forgot that the greatest tools you've been given came from God. You don't have to become an expert salesperson. You actually just have to care. You think about it. How many people approach you with what's important to them and they haven't even taken thought or concern about what's going on in the life of you and yours? If this is helpful, give me number 4. I want to know if this is helpful. I don't want to keep on too long. We're already 38 minutes into it. But I want you all to understand it does not take 4 years of marketing in college to be able to be great at this stuff. Oh, good. What else, Dwayne, about this recipient? What's going on about the person that hears us? Well, I'm glad you've asked. You have to ensure that you fit into their intake. How does that happen, Dwayne? Well, I'm glad you've asked. Well, before I jump to talk about business, I wonder how you doing? What's going on? If I talk to you, I probably already know if you have children, if you have a spouse, if you're going through something. I'm observant. I don't just listen. I look. I know Christine. I know some of you guys, some of you, Noreen, Christine, I know you guys have been remodeling your kitchen. I know that, James, you are doing things with your helping your kids with homework because they have school from home and all kinds of things. I know what hours you're working, Amar. I know what's going on over there with you, Mark. But here's the thing. I don't want to overwhelm you with what I know until I know something about you, because I want to know where it all fits. How can it fit? If you want to know why I told you I want you to sleep more, because I notice you have a family. You can't stay up that long and you're going to hurt. I want you to know I actually care. And there's a fit for this stuff. So it's important if you're going to talk about business. How you doing? Before you go anywhere with this whole business thing, and you have to get your little line out, your recorded, repeated message, your memorized message. What's happening? So what are you into these days? What's happening with you? Don't worry. They're going to tell you, well, the company I was with, they shut down. And right now I'm just kind of battling back and forth with the wife. Not really sure what I'm going to be doing. Oh, okay. So where do you think you'll be doing? Okay, gotcha. So do you have any prospects in the water of what you'll be doing? I'm going to ask her. I'm overwhelmed at the idea that everyone wants to force their business on people. You don't have to do it. Seek first to understand. Then you could clearly be understood. What are you up to? Well, I don't know yet. I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing. Now they've opened the door for you. I'm not really sure what I'll be doing. Now I've got a perfect opportunity not to kick my way into their door. No, I'm going to find out where I fit in. Watch how I do this. Oh, well, just so you know, been in a similar boat. Me and my wife, we're doing something. I don't know if this is a good fit for you. Check it out. When you get 15 minutes, look at it. If it helps you, good. We're able to make some money each day with this thing. I don't know if it's going to be the kind of thing you'd be into. Check it out. I'll follow up with you later to see what it's like. You see how I just used the system? I didn't overwhelm people with the word autoresponder or page builder. I didn't overwhelm people with the name Ingreso Cybernetico. I didn't even use it. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? You have to, there's someone that you're talking to that matters. All the stuff you have, you don't have to overwhelm them. Find out where you fit in. And you get in there. Don't you kick your way into someone's life with your business and the hard to say name and all those products and how Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Stop it. Cut it short. Cut it out. I don't know if this will be a good fit for you. I'll be praying for you guys. I know how challenging it is. We had the same thing happen with us with 3 kids. Here's what we're doing. Take 15 minutes whenever you get time. Check it out. If I can answer any questions, I'll be happy to do that. Right? But done. No company name, no PowerPoint, no Zoom. Bing, 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 bing. Some of you didn't even know why we give you a sales page, but it's the least used item of your business tools. It's the least used. Everyone wants someone to meet. Now listen, it's just not practical. That when you're talking to someone who has a real life, has a family, has responsibilities, that they're going to be vacant at 4, 5, 6. Well, I'm doing a Zoom at 6. Can you be there? It's not realistic. Send them a presentation so they can watch it in their time. That's a sign that you actually care. When you get a free moment, take 15 minutes, watch this. It may change your life. I don't know that it will, but watch it when you get a moment. Now that makes sense. Instead of asking someone to get on a Zoom when they're on the way to the grocery store, asking someone to be on the phone with you for 30, 40 minutes as you wear them out with all this hard to memorize stuff. Why would you do it? Ensuring you fit into their intake. Become a part of, don't be disruptive. Fit in naturally. Don't go against nature, go with nature. If they're having a tough day, fit in where it's not going to inconvenience them. If a person's lamenting over the fact that their spouse left another thing, what can you do? I don't know what I can do. I am your friend. I'm here. Here's my number if you need someone to talk to. Maybe you don't get to give them to them the same day. Or if you need a distraction, I can't promise you this will do it, but I've been doing some development stuff. I'm a part of this leadership circle. You're welcome to be a part of that. Or since you're out of work, if you're going to need money while you go through this so it doesn't get worse for you, maybe I can be helped there too. You just let me know how I can best be your friend and help you. Done. The recipient is the most important part. So when you tell people that they don't have to sell and they don't have to recruit, not only you're lying, it's just unnatural. It's not realistic. Everybody on the Zoom today and on YouTube, you all buy stuff. You're not against selling. That's how you have what you have. You are actually on the Zoom because you bought a computer or a phone or an iPad. You bought it. Selling is not the greatest sin in the world. It is probably the best thing that ever happened to you. That's why you're clothed. That's why you have a house. That's why you have whatever you have because you purchased it. So stop making selling the big bad boomer. It's not. Do you accept that? Yes or no? Selling is a good thing. And the wealthy people do it. Poor people buy. Wealthy people sell. And until you get that straight, you might continue the lie that everybody's been passing around. Do you accept this? Yes or no? That's me asking you. Unbelievable. You buy your car, you buy your phone, you buy your battery, you buy your clothes, you buy your house, and yet you want people to think selling is bad? Stop the madness. But here's the beauty. The stuff I'm talking to you about today, now you are selling without selling. You're just being you. You actually care about people. You're comfortable with your own voice because you're not the most important person. You're plugging in things that will change your results as you know them. By the way, Miss Smiles, based on the email video you saw, is this consistent with the things I was teaching in that video? I'm curious because I did that like 8 or 10 years ago.
Yes. Yes, it is. I watched it last night. It's definitely a message for right now.
So isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting that as I say this to everyone, that when you use your own voice and your own message and use system, it gets to stay consistent. 10 years later, it could be the same message. That's the beauty. And it works. So let's go on. The recipient. Let's go further. Though here's something everyone wants to start with. Everyone wants to start here with the conversion. Because you were mistaught. Now listen, I'm not a rookie. I actually know what... Okay. I don't think education's the big difference maker, but some of you do, so I'm going to help you. I have an MBA, so I'm not just making crap up, for starters, right? So when I tell you a conversion is the byproduct, you don't start there. I've already mastered business. I mean, I've mastered marketing. I know what it means. I may not be an internet marketer, as they say. I don't care about that. But I'm going to tell you the conversion isn't the primary. It is the byproduct of being what you ought to be, messaging with the right message, and having the right voice. It is the byproduct. If it's not the byproduct, you actually have to lie, scam, and cheat to get it. I don't want that. I want it done in a way that is consistent with a way that it can be long-term and sustained. That's when it's the byproduct. That's when they say to you, well, Dwayne, I don't know what it is, but I just want to be a part of it. You know, no one actually listened to me since she left me, but you actually had time for me. Oh, you know what? Thank you. I want to look at this because you're the first person that didn't try to force all this junk on me and then try to talk my ear off. You were so... I'm curious. I want to go look at it now. It becomes the byproduct. Amen, Dwayne. Yes, it is true. It is just the most resolving. It is talking about closure. Closure is when you don't have to chase the sale, that the sale becomes the byproduct or the result of you being a genuine person who just is being yourself. Like Tommy when he talks about his Georgia Bulldogs. You just tell me, man, I love the Bulldogs, and you don't force it on people. If you know I love Pitt, you're not going to force the Bulldogs on me. You're going to tell me respectfully why you love them, but you're going to do your own thing. This is where it all begins and ends, folks. The byproduct is where the conversion comes in. That's where it belongs. And the recipient knows that you actually are in tune with them. They convert. Dorothy actually does care about me. She's not just caring about her puppies. She's not just caring about her grandkids. She actually shown genuine sign of caring about me. She could have spent 20 minutes forcing her business on me. But she inquired. She queried me on this thing. Oh my goodness. The conversion becomes the byproduct because it's so rare in this market where everyone is going to pitch 4 or 5 things this month to you. They're going to pitch Tron. They're going to pitch Ethereum. They're going to pitch Bitcoin. They're going to pitch gifting. Everything's going to come your way. You could be the differentiator to the recipient who's going to get the same messages. You can be there to be different. Now, the connection between your life and your consistent message is also part of the conversion. It creates that byproduct. The reason I asked Miss Smiles this question because last night we were talking about email, and I said I did a video years ago. I want you to watch it because it's going to help you in how to properly establish your message in your voice. It just so happens that today it's already a part of our presentation that we have for this week. And what's interesting is the connection between the consistent message that I've done year after year after year is what makes the difference. Now, in fact, you said it. I didn't say it, Ms. Miles. You said I wasn't even going to do this. I was just here to prepare to load my other business. But while I was here, the message got to me. The message that I need to know what I have made the difference. You see the difference message makes? It's independent. It didn't even matter what color I was or who I was. It was the message, and you get to have your own. The consistency. You know what happens? Some of you have no consistency. You're pimping in the morning, Transylvania. Then by tonight, you're going to send the same recipient who's already lost his family. You're going to pitch him a whole new opportunity, ask him for more money. And then next week, you're going to pitch him on something else because something new came out. And you didn't know that that inconsistency, that instability that you show people is why they run. They don't run because you can't sell. They run because they're so annoyed at the arrogance that you think that their life doesn't matter so much that it's only October tomorrow and you've already pitched them on 11 businesses this year. You didn't know that connection that you have with them is nothing more than instability all year long. They're not saying no to your business. They're saying no to you. They're saying just stop. I'm a person. You never once, in all these 11 businesses you sent my way, you never once asked me about my sick child. You never once. You never asked me how I'm doing since we lost our home. You just throw this crap at me. That's why you're not converting. You think it's because your business, well, we have a monthly. It's because we have a monthly. Oh, shush. It's because it's hard. If we change the name, can we just do Zooms on Fridays? Stop. I mean it. Create a connection of stability. You know it. Children love a stable home. If yours is unstable, you're going to be jealous that they want to be at the neighbor's house more often, where they have to go to bed at 9. They eat at 6. Everybody has to do their homework. Your son or daughter loves being there more because it is stable. Business is the same way. The reason they leave you to go to everybody else is because you're just hopping everywhere all the time. New things, new stuff, and never stable. It's not comfortable, but if the discomfort will create real wealth for you now, it's worth it. Land the plane. If you're in the airplane, you're about to land, let down the landing gear. Sit still so you could properly be real. You know what I experienced? Someone says, Dwayne, hey, you still doing that thing? Yeah, of course. I'm still doing that thing. My people come back to me. The business I started 15 years ago, I'm still doing. You see that? I landed the plane years ago. Repeat businesses at an all-time high. You get it? The connection between your life and your consistent message is where the conversions come from, along with the fact that people know that you're in tune with them. All of this creates this beautiful byproduct that we call the conversion. And if you plug this in, it will soon be your norm. Hello. Holla back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the screen sharing as we speak because you deserve a break today. Talk to me now. You guys, leadership is so much more than someone acting like they're in charge. It's all about leading the way in proper form. It's about being who we're supposed to be. That's what it's about. If someone asks you, hey, look, you still have those kids? Yeah, they're my children. Of course I still have them. Do I really say, well, I've got 12 more. I've got some over there. I got some over there. I got some over there. Or are we going to show stability so they can know they're coming into a functional home when they come over here? Huh? So what questions or comments do you have related to this, folks? Now, I've got all my friends on YouTube. Any feedback, I have not been very good. I've not been very good at all with you. Please forgive me. So tell me, what questions or comments do any of you have? I am here, and I want you to embrace it. Be comfortable in your own voice, though. Don't be shy. Open your mic and let me know, or you can type it in. I have to open the browser for the others. Okay, let's see what you got. Where are you? Okay. Is building a trust between you and them, I just don't know how to sell to customers. Yeah, it's not about selling. That's my whole point. Today, I wasn't selling you, but I sold you all on the concept of having your own voice and a message. So it didn't become ugly until we called it selling. You know, if a guy uses a pickup line, that's ugly. He's using a pickup line just to get a girl, just to get her in bed. But if a man speaks his heart and she wants to go home with her for the rest of his life, it's beautiful. See the difference? It's not about selling. You don't have to call it selling. It's about get the concept. That's why I teach everyone to know what you have. Get the concept and then establish your voice and your message. Thank you for that question, iPhone. Anyone else have a comment or a question? Because that was a good one. Hello in there. Okay, we got a shy bunch or everyone's got it. Okay, we're done a little bit early. If you have no comments or no questions, I am happy to move on and get on with my day because I've been gone for a while. Yes, I see a... Noreen, are you talking? You popped up on my screen all of a sudden. I don't know why. Anyone have anything? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we are good. You guys have... Uh-oh.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can. So you do have... Okay, you almost took off, girl.
I had my Bluetooth earphones in and I couldn't... It wouldn't... Like, I think it was delayed.
Okay.
So, I think people just need to stop treating people like they're just numbers. I mean, that's why I left my job 5 years ago, because I was just a number. And, you know, we've just got to realise that here, it should be no different. We should get to know everyone, and it shouldn't be just about getting people on, and that's it. It's about building that relationship.
It really is. Noreen, I'm glad you said that. Do you see why I say to people that anytime a company or a leader only wants your money, they don't want you. You don't have to do anything. Just give us your money and you're going to get rich. Can you see why that's so ugly and also not true? Can you see how it completely does not include the recipient? All you want is their money? No wonder companies have been able to run off with millions and millions of dollars, because this commitment to individuals is gone. We have an ugly market now. Now it's who can get to market the fastest. Who can launch a company this week, even though they won't have a business next month. Who can just become a professional launcher. Then they find you guys who call yourselves leaders, so you can go pimp those programs for a month or two, knowing that there's a single mother on the other side of it who doesn't know any better. She's just following you. She puts her money and then they shut down. You say, sorry, I didn't know. Then you say, I got another one, come to this one. Then you got the homeless dad. Then you got the kid who was already thinking of suicide, who joins it, and we create this ugly mess. So yeah, I love what you're saying. There needs to be a return to sanity, a return to doing things naturally. Because isn't that what's happening with relationships too? It's all the same stuff.
Yeah, so, totally. Agree.
Thank you, Noreen. So yeah, guys, you can. Yes, who's talking? Sean, yes, sir. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on?
You are going on, man.
Yeah,
Tell me.
Yeah. So, just sharing a little experience with while doing some marketing. Meeting persons that prospect to me, trying to get me into business, right?
Right.
And I would respond in a way to find out what's going on with them. You know, the same aspects that you've been preaching. Mm-hmm. Find out what's going on with their family, you know. what's going on in their head. But they're pitching business to me, and I respond like that. So it works both ways also.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean. So the thing about communication, it's not one person talking to another. It's actually sending and receiving of messaging. So it works it's like addition. You know, if I add 5 plus 2 or 2 plus 5, I'm going to get the same answer. It's going to go in both directions. It is literally independent of the direction. So yes, you're right, Sean. If someone's trying to prospect you, slow them down a minute. What's going on? Haven't talked to you in 8 years. How's your hubby doing? Right? Good stuff, Sean. Thank you very much. True stuff. Laziness is the most deadly virus in the 21st. Yes, you know what's crazy? We can't duplicate our business. We're duplicating a lot of lazy people who literally are joining business because they're told they don't have to do any work in that business. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. It's the ultimate oxymoron, Jose. You are right. Everyone wants a fast. You know what's crazy? Everybody wants to make this kind of money, but they don't want to do the kind of work we do. I don't understand that. I work my black tail off, right, to sustain, to keep what I've got. I work it to the point of I have no set clock. I sleep when I'm done. I wake up when I'm done sleeping. I have to work like that to keep and maintain. That's what I do. And I've got many businesses. How are you going to come in and get wealthy and have what I have or even more, and you don't have nothing to do, just pay? Oh, stop it. And by the way, you have no idea what kind of money it costs to do that. It costs a lot of money every freaking day. Could you imagine taking care of employees across multiple continents, buildings, servers? Now, the real kicker, all of the other stuff, all the tools and the software. Oh my God, if you only knew. So people would say, oh, just pay this one time. Pay $25, you can get rich. Stop it. Tell people the truth. You get in at the highest level you can, and you commit yourself. That kind of messaging will change. It will transform a person's life. I have many lives that I've been helped transform by being truthful. I'm not going to lie to them. Yeah, you will work some now, but you won't work nearly as hard as you did as an employee. You guys want to know what's hard? Hey, Sean, people are confused on what's hard and what's easy. Let me tell you what's hard. What's hard is living in a country where the average income is $1,000 a year. And to get fresh water, you have to walk at least what? 2 or 3 kilometers for water. That's hard. The idea that the North Americans, Canadians, Europeans are acting like it's hard to do business because you have to sell, it's foolish. Hogwash. I live in Colombia. You'll find a man or a woman on the street with one leg, one arm, and they still can. There's no unemployment. There's no welfare. There's no community systems. They have to work. They're selling gum. They're selling things to people. Selling's not a bad thing. It's how they eat. What's sad is the world of people are confused what's easy and it's hard. I can't believe you would pay $10,000 or $20,000 and someone told you there's nothing to do except pay that. And you paid it. You might as well give it to your spouse or your children. You might as well give it to your savings or to your dreams. The mess, the lies will have to stop, and some of you are going to have to stand up. It's not enough that I stand up. You have to stand up for it too and start saying no. You also have to stand up and tell the truth to the people who sign up with you. Give them the honest to God truth that everything is possible, but they have to come with it. Okay, I'm done. I got a little excited. Thank you, Sean. I got very excited. Someone was telling me last week, how many hours a week does it take to make it in your business? I said 24/365. Oh, you guys are the best. Listen, get ready.
Can I hit you another one?
Okay, go ahead.
Alright, cool. So the training platforms that I've seen being up and about now, a lot of training platforms. Now they suggest that persons give them their cash and they leverage it, and the persons get back a percentage higher than the amount that they invested in the first place. I be asking persons, why would I want to give you my cash for you to leverage? Why didn't I just go and learn to trade?
Okay, so
I was kind of wanting to hear your aspect of it just a bit.
Sean, so 2 things, okay? So investments, right? is one thing. Business is another. It didn't get ugly until people tried to make them the same thing. They tried that with crypto. They said, look, come to this investment. You can earn interest every day. Well, first of all, that's just a false thing, that part of it. So keep it separate. If you're going to invest so someone can trade your money, right? You're going to invest into Apple stock, do that. But don't call it business. That's all I'm telling you. It's not business. There's many variables out there beyond the understanding of the average person who's become a trader. The average Forex trader is self-taught. The average Forex trader who can do it doesn't do a bad job, but there are variables they don't know about. There's things they don't understand about the global market and things that can occur. So I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just telling you don't call it business. You might have somebody that can do it well, right? That's fine. But I need to tell you the truth. There are things about business that you can't just get because you picked up a quick trade by spending a few hours on YouTube. So I don't want to talk about that. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think you can make great money in Forex trading. But let's be straight. If you're going to give someone your money to do it, that's investing. I'm here to talk leadership as it relates to business. If you want to talk about that, I could do it another time in a separate thing. I may invite you guys to my leadership. I have my own Dwayne Golden channel. I may invite you to that for those of you here in my leadership circle, because I can talk about all other topics. I need to be fair to our people here who are working in this business to keep it focused there. So thank you, Sean. Okay. Now, I wish you well. How many of you are going to come back next week for our leadership circle training where we together can be a part of change and be a part of a new culture in this industry? Type it in number 4. Good. Looking forward to seeing you here. Let's do that together. You guys have a great day. God bless you all. I know that together we can make a difference. We can't change the world, but we can change ourselves so the world has a fair chance at changing. Have a good day. Take care.